Hey everyone, it's Mari and happy Saturday. Hopefully you're all finding some time this weekend to spend in your craft room. I'm working on a 12 by 12 layout here today using, for one thing, the confetti blast paper from Maggie Holmes. I'm also going to be using this Dilution stencil that I'm opening up right now that was in one of the, I think at the one of the April hip kits, and it's small circles, and I'm going to be using that with some texture paste on my layout using some Ranger texture paste. I'm just going to mix some pigment ink there into that. It's a mint color, and that's an Avriel pigment ink that we got in, I think, a color kit way back when. I'm not sure what month that was. Anyway, so I'm just mixing that in with my palette knife on my acrylic block and just mixing that ink in there, and then I'm going to put that, you can see where I'm pointing on the layout there. I have some pencil marks that I've designated as the spots where I want my texture paste to go on that stencil, just because I sort of figured out where I want my picture mat to go on there. So I'm just working around that with the stencil. So I'm just getting some of that texture paste on there, and I'm going to just work on that for a little bit here. Got it on there pretty thick. I've got a bunch left over, so I'm just going to scoop that off there and put it onto some wax paper and fold that up and save it for another time. So I'm just going to wash up those tools there. One thing about that acrylic block, just as if you're using texture paste on your acrylic block and you also use that block for stamping, it's a good idea to only use the texture paste on one side of your block, because it does leave a little bit of a film on there and your stamps won't stick. So I always make sure I'm just using the same side all the time. So now I'm just drying that with my Ranger heat tool just to make sure that it's really good and dry. You don't want to work on your layout until that texture paste has had a chance to dry. So yeah, so I just adhered that white cardstock to that confetti paper. I gutted the paper first. So now I'm just showing you there my layers for my photograph, and I just took some of that tissue paper I'm showing you that right there from a Paper Issues order that I got, and I just cut a chunk off and I just crumpled it up, and I made that little tag holder there just out of a glassine bag, and you can see that I put some more of that confetti paper, that mint polka dot with black polka dot paper there in the layer, as well as another paper that I'm going to show you in a little bit here from the Craft Market collection. That black and white polka dot paper I think is Maggie Holmes, maybe an open book journaling card or something, and that little film strip ephemera piece is also from Maggie Holmes, I'm pretty sure. That little wood veneer suitcase is from the I Am collection by Simple Stories, and I think all of the other ephemera pieces are from different Maggie Holmes bits and pieces, except maybe there might be a little bit of Craft Market mixed in there. That little bike, I'm not even sure where I got that from. It might have been from a Tim Holtz ephemera pack that I bought at Michael's. I can't remember, but the picture of Jordan is kind of, it's got that old kind of vintage look to it, and I thought that little bicycle would be cute there, and he's reading a newspaper and he looks like a little old man or something with that hat on. You can see that tag I'm putting in that glassine bag has the journaling on it, and it has just little letters on top that say pull, so that once I put it into the pocket, the page protector, you can just reach in from the top and pull that and read. So there's that paper I was talking about. That's from crepe paper, and it's really, really super heavy, and it almost kind of has like a rubberized back on it. So it's really heavy and it's really neat, and I used it in my photo layers there. You can see behind the photograph of Jordan. So I'm just putting some more adhesive on there just to make sure that photo mat's all stuck down there. I did staple the layers together beforehand, like the papers, that tissue paper, and that I did I stapled it and then I glued things together after. I'm just having more adhesive troubles as usual. You know, if you've watched any of my videos, it's nothing new. The top of my mono glue is all plugged up, so I'm trying to unplug it, and I end up taking the lid off, and then right there the lid comes right off and the glue squirts out. So anyhow, yeah, I had to fix that after, needless to say. So there's that confetti blast paper again. I really love that. I think I bought like 6 sheets of it or something like that, and I like it. It's nice on a boy layout too, right? Because it's not pink, obviously, and it's that I like the mint for a from a masculine layout. So I think that looks nice. And just trying to put some black and white accents on here too to go with that. The frame that I put using the blast paper as well. And I'm not sure what I'm doing right now. Oh, that's what I was doing. I was just getting some thread. So I just balled up a piece of white thread and put it in there too, just for some more texture. And I'm just going to stick some Scotch glue in there just to stick it down a little bit. And then I'm going to put that little film strip in there, and I'm going to add a title and stick some stuff down, and it's going to be a really quick layout. So I'm just using a little bit of glue, some glue dots there, just to stick that little piece down. And the title I used that little bit there that I'm putting on is for another Maggie Holmes, I think. No, that's Craft Market, sorry. That's a Craft Market bit. The title that I'm going to be putting on though is from an American Crafts Thickers set that we got in the April hip kits, I believe. Like I said, I'll put it in the description down below so that you can read that. I always forget that stuff when I'm narrating, and I should write it down so that I don't forget. But anyway, my memory is definitely not what it used to be. I just want to say that right now. Like, I don't know. It's scary. Anyhow, so I'm just going to try to glue that little wood veneer suitcase down. Jordan is sitting on a suitcase in the picture. That's why I used that suitcase ephemera piece. And I knew I had a suitcase in my stash somewhere, and I could not remember which set had it. And then I remembered it was the IAM collection, and there's actually a wood veneer suitcase, and there's a chipboard suitcase, and there's also a suitcase in the ephemera bag of bits too, so that's kind of neat. Anyway, I was going to do something on here about the newspaper that he was reading, and something about like looking for a bike for sale, or I don't know. I was trying to be creative and witty with my journaling or my title or whatever, but anyways, I decided to keep it simple and uncomplicated. So the title that I'm going to put on here is Sweet and Six, and this is the age that Jordan was in this photograph. So and then in the journaling I just wrote about, you know, what he was like as a 6-year-old. That I don't know if you can really see in the layout the look on his face, but he was so mischievous as a little 6-year-old boy, and that is definitely squirting right out of his eyes in this photograph. So I journaled about that in that on that little pull label in that glassine bag. And oh, he was so much fun when he was 6, that's for sure. So I tried to capture that in my journaling a little bit, so that when he reads that, he can think about that and remember what he was like when he was a little guy. He has an amazing memory. It always just floors me what he can remember about when, you know, when he was little, and that he has really vivid memories, which is really cool. So the layout's almost done. I'm just going to put some Speedball black ink splatters on here, and I just take a cheap craft brush. It's a round brush. I'm not even sure what size it is, and I dip it into that black ink, and I'm just going to put some heavy splatters on there to finish it up, just to bring that black back in, and get some pretty good size splatters on there. Actually, what I do after is I just take a little bit of paper towel, and I take up a little bit of the ink on there just so that it dries a little bit. So all you have to do is just take a little piece of paper towel and just you know, dip the very end of it in to absorb a little bit of that ink. So this is a really simple and easy layout. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I'd love to hear any comments that you might have, or suggestions, or any other comments you'd like to leave behind. Just leave in the comments below the video. So I hope you have an amazing rest of your weekend, and thanks so much for watching. Bye.